February 23, 9:34 a.m. District Court Defendant's Lobby number 2. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We are in the trial today. And let's do this. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. White, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes, a defense attorney should never believe their clients. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. White. My first trial without a fair help to me. No one's going to bail me out of this one. I'll be all alone in there, so I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do this, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Oh God, that's great. February 23, 10 a.m. District Courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Mrs. Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be part of the proceeding today, Mr. White. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I seldom feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls first witness Miss Angel Starr to the stand. The call-up queen. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordering the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar. I never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you I have a feast bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste a little like pickle tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? My name is Angel Star, don't forget it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Mr. Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was the first-rate homicide detective. What? Mr. Star was a detective? I know who you are. Caught up Queen, Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with your description, with Mr. M. Star. Yes, who is this lady? If I might have the court attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block for the prosecutor's office personnel. A B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divide separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor space, yes? Yes. The crime took place by a car in the A block. In the car trunk, the killer stabbed the victim with his knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was the valiant witness? Why? It was me, Your Honor. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright, I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor loser are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Mr. Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Okay. Witness account. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finally honored honed detective intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor stand next to the garage car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointed tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend, how touching. As you can see, there's no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So how does it feel to be utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It seems merely flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Witness account. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. Okay, first off, a murderer usually in traces of the victim's hand, no prints. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedies. The lunch lady in uninformed opinion is duly noted, given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence and their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an exception of that. Mrs. Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I'm a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well, you may continue, Mrs. Starr. I was on my way to deliver lunch to my boyfriend. This boyfriend, he is the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriends. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for application. I'll stick with the lunch, thanks. Note self. The judge had to think before applying. The security guard room is in the lot of A block. It's up the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective intuition at work. Just sense something, so you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? I felt like, how would you say? Oh yes, it was like feeling you get when it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin choke full of seeds. I had no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective intuition, was the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Very well. Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A pale within each cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard yellowed and sharp as a tack. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the white fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to the garage car. By garage car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth's. Incidentally, the knife with the victim was stabbed was also Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are not more than worms, ergo. You are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like fritted crisps, be on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I heard that tagline elsewhere. You could quite plagiarize them. I may relegate to the lowly post of the lunch lady, but my instincts my instincts are honed. A photograph, you took this. The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snapped. I took a picture. In fact, one of the lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than you hanging it around your neck. You're witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I show it to you, prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certain the defendant. Oh, that is... So what was the defendant doing at this time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Oh, wrong button. Wait, tell me more about the knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Miss Edgeworth? It's your knife after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are by nature well versed in the location of man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg, I mean a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defendant was holding a knife, what then? Then she thrust the point tip of... Wait... I mean... She must have slashed him, right? This must be the victim's blood, right? Either that or Edgeworth cut himself peeling an apple. What Edgeworth's doing with a knife like this anyway? Hey, maybe he spent his week a little... She then... Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to sight. No, the defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes. The next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can't make it. You said this before anything else. Scientifically speaking, Mrs. Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this my sister's... Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panic to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. Somehow I always knew the day like this would come, okay? And you witnessed this. You saw Mr. Sky stab the victim with the knife. As I already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swile lunch. I'm sure that it's a fine lunch. But it isn't that odd. Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Mrs. Sky not holding the knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet, it was still strong than you ever feeble mind. You Your ever feeble mind, Mr. White. What do you mean, Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment of the stabbing. This was after the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatters. Huh. See that dark crimson claim on the chief prosecutor's coat? But that black and white photograph. Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. White, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. White, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? Wait. That contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seemed I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering a jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure to understand it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculated like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in the photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. What? Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder is a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves proves it. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunch boxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it's my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. Ma'am, our prosecutor's bad? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provides an accurate testimony. What's that, Rookie? In your testimony, you state that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves are to indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing of the murder weapon? Oh. The knife just happened to be in the trunk of the car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Whoa. Order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Quick, show me, Mr. White. My sister is as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such trifling detail, but they shot a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecutors could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That's the only thing the prosecutor needs to prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she was planning that that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing? I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Lana Skye intended to murder Jesse Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge a knife in again and again. The victim was summoned to police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if it ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. The last thing didn't sound correct. I feel like that isn't really correct. There, it was pretty. You say you say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then test you. I test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is groaning under our feet as we wait, Mrs. Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have explained this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to loss of blood from one stab wound. Oh, you're right. Good show, Mr. Wedgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed. Well, witness, you got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. No one could ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood, testify. Her red muffle looked like blood to me. That's how... Her red muffler. Yes, like a scarf that chief prosecutor always wear one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. Mrs. Skye was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait. Isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. What's a bib? A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like a kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her breast. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Mrs. Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? Mrs. Starr has turned out to be short-tempered as she looked when we met her. And challenging her abilities as a detective is really setting her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Mrs. Skye called him here there. You have no proof that she didn't. Miss Ashford, there is no records of a call made to defend Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on, you could have tried public phone first at least. In any case, the victim came to prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why would you think the suspect was summoned to the victim that day? I'm sure Chief Prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Present the phone. Okay. Okay. That's why she called the victim all the way. I'm sure the chief also had a grudge against the victim. What kind of grudge? Well, I wondered who know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See, we agreed there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with the pretzels. Don't you agree? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. That judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us on your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Her red muffler looks like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. The red muffler? Yes, like a scarf the chief was gonna so it can be easily hung. Notice, I suppose. She's right. Isn't it odd that you mistook that for splatter of blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. A jaguar bib. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, Wookie. I believe that she just said was a merely prelude to the story she is about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again, Wookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something half-baked here is right, and it's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intended to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. Mr. Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she was stabbing the victim, and you've proven it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection sharper level? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well, now we're wary. The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect? Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her test. The most important part? The part where your sister stabbed the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind the partitions of her side. I quickly called her, explained her right to her, and arrested her on the spot. And yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The sheriff prosecutor made an escape, but against Angel Star resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and I bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to be bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Everyone is. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An old oil drum, hard to imagine. Oh, she's a beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Ball. Very well, Mr. White. Your cross-examination, if you will. Apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind the portillion of her side. So where is the portillion of the floor plans? Wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quick, unnatural things for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights, and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly, were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her more detail. I like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The lunch lady car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Mrs. Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing that caught-up queen lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you that my testimony is shaky. Anyway, all I heard her say was a word muffler. Just that one word. So what what you heard wasn't a suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Yes, the chief prospector was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean. By phone do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see? No, the court doesn't see, Mrs. Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order, and so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witness. Good witnessing. Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. Of course. Things I do to please the rookie defense attorney. The muffler was overheard during the call made to Emma. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the call but had to use her cell phone instead. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? I was going to ask the same thing. I only say this once. Listen close, rookie. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the population. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? The chief prosecutor made an escape, but against Angel's Star resistance, it's futile. She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a plate of foie gras. She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why did she run the other way? Yeah. The parking lot entrance. That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the population oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more though. So Mrs. Sky tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. White. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind the portrait of the side. Oh god. Just gonna say before I fail everything. Yeah, sorry for the weird ending. It became a little bit longer than I expected, and yeah. I'm just gonna continue with, there is more so around 30 minutes more content, so yeah. Gonna continue with that in next episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you did. If you didn't, you don't, and all that. You know what? Yeah, so yeah. Have a nice day and all that. Bye bye.